in a broken wasteland. Come to my fire.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of The Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson. I am your host. These awesome episodes where we just go straight in, no fucking monologues anymore. They're really fun because we've already started talking about stuff before I hit the record button. And as you can see, my guests are already here. We have Stahl and Azul from KAL-EL here in the Metal Forge. Dudes, what is going on?
Thank you for having us on, brother.
Thank you.
It's been quite a busy couple of weeks. It's been like 12, 15 days since we dropped the record, and it's been nonstop fucking stuff going on since then, man.
Yeah, it's been nonstop. Hey, man, can you be on my podcast? Hey, can you do this interview? Yeah, I know how it goes. I mean, especially with the lineage that y'all have had. I mean, y'all have got quite a bit of material that's been released over the last 13 or 14 years or so.
Yeah,
it's quite a done. It's been we tried to do one every couple of years just to have stuff coming out, but to be quite honest, we didn't go serious until we gave out the Astral record. Before that, it was like touch base and see what was happening, see what kind of movement we had around the world and stuff like that. Because the scene back home isn't that great. Well, it's great, but it's not that big. So we had to go off the coast, as we say, to find peers and stuff like that. So we started to get really serious when we put that record out. And with Dark Majesty, we really fucking had to put up the game, man. Because then it was really serious. You had people working for you, like PR and labels and shit. So you had to step up and pull your.
Oh, for sure, yeah. You totally have to have that because if you once you're paying for PR and or if somebody else is paying for that PR, some of those companies can get fucking ridiculously expensive. I mean, we're talking like $3,000 to $5,000 for like a 12-week album cycle, and it's like, son of a bitch. How am I supposed to afford this? It's like,
exactly.
I get it. So before we talk about the album and what's going on for 2025 for you all, go ahead, tell everybody in Metal Forge Land about KAL-EL. I mean, your KAL-EL, not, everybody knows as KAL-EL. It's spelled a little bit different, which I totally love the name. My counterpart who's not here today because he's at his band practice right now, he sent me a message. He's like, man, Josh turned me on to KAL-EL and I'm totally fucking digging them. And he's texting me this and I'm like, oh really? That's cool, because I'm interviewing him like next Sunday. And he's like, no shit. So I know he will. Jason will definitely be looking forward to this episode. So yeah,
that's cool.
Tell everybody out in Metal Forge Land about KAL-EL.
Will you give a go, Josh?
Should I give a go? I mean, I've just been a part of the gang for 5 years, soon 6, maybe.
I would say to late 2018, probably.
2018, yeah.
Oh wow! So pre-pandemic.
Yeah, pre-pandemic. So
you had a solo on Witches of Mars, and that's how you came in.
The first thing that happened, they gave me a solo on, which song was it? Moon Unit?
Yeah, Moon Unit.
And so I was like, can you do a solo for this part? And I'm like, yeah, of course. How long is the part? Wasn't it 2.5 minutes?
I think it was 5, but we cut it down. But we cut it down to like 2.5 minutes because it was too fucking long. It was stupidly long.
It was just
But,
stupidly long solo. And I'm like, okay, I'm just doing a psychedelic solo here for 2.5 minutes. That's how I got introduced to the band. And I'm like, hell yeah, I'm in.
That's awesome.
Here's your addition, boy.
Yeah.
No shit. Here, do this 2.5 minute solo. I'm a bass player. I'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. I think the name of the song that you said that Moon Unit.
Yeah.
Are you are you friends of Frank Zappa at all?
I love Frank Zappa.
So you might already know this actually. You know the Frank's oldest child's name is Moon Unit.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, Moon Unit Zappa.
That's amazing.
Called Dweezil Zappa as well, I think.
Yeah, there's Dweezil and Ahmed. Yeah, but she was the oldest born, and the idea behind her being named Unit is they became a family unit at the time.
Oh.
And it was like, but her first actual name is Moon Zappa. And you know, that's a whole fucking, like I said, this show, it comes up whatever you fucking, you know, firing of the synapses is like reminds me of shit. But go ahead. Yeah, your 2.5 minute audition solo in the song Moon Unit brought you into the band in about 2018.
Yeah, the band, or the thing was, I got tagged on the post on Facebook that they were looking for a guitar player. I applied, went in, knew all of the songs of Astral Voyager, and
I think you had been practicing that record, so you came in and you knew that record.
Yeah, and you gave me a set list, and I also took it upon myself to know the entire Astral Voyager also.
I think that was the case.
Yeah, so I went in and we played the set list, and I was like, do you want to take some other songs of the album, because I know them? And I guess I impressed them, and they were like, you're in if you want to go. And then they gave me this solo, and I was like, what the hell am I supposed to do for 2.5 minutes?
Right, because, you know, in the whole modern style metal, like, you know, everything's like still, you know, reaching between 3 and 6 minutes usually.
Yeah.
And when you have that, and you know, you're talking maybe 20-30 seconds of a song at most. At most, even in a 6-minute song, you might get like a 30-second solo bridge there. But like, to do it for 2.5 minutes, yeah, it's like, again, like, what do you come up with to keep it interesting?
Yeah,
you know, those peaks and valleys, as everyone likes to talk about.
It was a lot of fun to do it, and it was a lot of fun to like get the introduction of what kind of band I'm getting myself into.
Sure.
And
pretty much went straight on tour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell yeah.
So it was pretty, he just had to cling on and hope the train wouldn't leave without him. So he packed his bag and he came on tour, and that was it.
That was it. And 6 months later, I moved to the city where the KAL-EL is based, because I was like, I'm hella in. I'm in.
Hell yeah. So where actually are you all based from? Because when I look at Metal Archives, you know, it says that you all are based in Stavanger. Hell yeah.
I think everybody lives here now, but Budas, the drummer, he's originates from far up north, but he's been here since he was like 8 or 9 years old. So everybody is from this area. Duffy is actually born in Denmark. But he moved here as a kid, so he's Norwegian, like, and he's a Stavanger boy. So yeah, we're a Stavanger band, pretty much.
Hell yeah. Now, you know, because like I said, having a band in, where you're all together and you can all get together and practice and stuff, and you're all in the same area. That's totally, I dig, where it's at. But like being like a lot of these bands today, they, in my Power Doom band is the same way. We don't live in the same city. We all live in the state like where we're at, but we all have like a 2-hour drive to get to one place to practice.
It's commitment.
That's
commitment. That's commitment.
And that's total. And it seems like there's a lot of bands out there that do that these days. And to have like what you all have is super special, where you're all in the same area and you can just, hey, Thursday, let's go, or whatever.
I don't think it's that uncommon in Norway, pretty much, because you tag to hang on to the guys that you grew up with or hang around with. We're not, maybe when you get older, if you have a band and you grow older and you move to different cities and you still cling on to that band, you might do it as much. But I think the basis is that you play with the guys that you live around, pretty much.
Yeah,
sure.
Because traveling around in Norway is not that easy as it's in the States, because you got fucking ferries and train and shit and every possible way of transport to get wherever you want. So it's time consuming. So it would be weekends if so, and I don't think that I don't think that the creativity would be flowing as much if it was like that way, because we try to hash it out a couple of times a week, not just to play and talk, but we're getting older, so we need the exercise as well. So it's just to hang out. I don't have any other friends than a band that I hang with these days.
Oh,
I mean, I got friends, right? But it's
I'm the same way with you on that. Totally. I hang out with the bands and the podcast.
Yeah.
Well,
So this is well, I do work in a front facing business, so like I work in auto parts, so I do see a lot of people there, but like to actually associate with like like people in the scene, no, it's totally like this and the band. I totally get it. So yeah, and doing a couple of times a week, just even for one of them being an exercise type practice. I
there's
dig
a lot
that.
of different stuff coming up when you do that, because maybe one of the guys is just tuning the guitar or whatever, and something is happening, and I will go, "What the fuck was that you just played?" And I said, "I don't know." And maybe something will come out of that. You never know. So, but that's the magic of being a couple of times a week, because you relax pretty much, because it's not that you have to. Okay, we put this weekend on for rehearsal. We got to do it. No coffee, no sneak snack, no fuck all. We have to fucking practice. Now it's relaxed. You can go in and we take our time, and then we do a couple of songs, talk a bit, do a couple of more songs. I mean, it's a bit more hectic if we got a tour or a gig coming up. Where you want to polish it down, so
Sure.
if we fuck up, we would come back in to rhythm again. But it's very relaxed. It's not like we start when we're ready, pretty much. And
Yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. Have a beer, have a smoke, have a coffee, have whatever you want, and just leisurely stroll in to do it. And honestly, I think that's more or less the mentality of today. I mean, yeah, you do have. I think a lot of people know more today, like how it's like, okay, time to work and time to separate and just do, like a conversation bit or, taking breaks and stuff. Because back in the day, you always read about these bands that, that whether or not they're, Aerosmith or, Leonard Skinner, Metallica, all of these big ass bands that they talk about how they were like every single day, practice. Yeah. Like 10 hours a day type stuff. And it's like, that's a lot over time. And it's like, I guess if that's your only thing that you have, cool. But like,
because that's the reason for we cannot do that, because nowadays there's
everybody
not that
has to
much
have a
money
job.
in music.
Exactly. Oh yeah, exactly.
So we do have, and I mean, we got families and stuff, so we have to spend some time with those guys as well in between everything. So, I mean, those 2 nights a week is pretty much plenty for us to get through whatever we want. And, you got the gossip, the slagging of other bands.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Um,
Man,
I
did you
mean,
see what Iron Maiden's doing? Those fucking no.
actually, I'm going to see those guys this Saturday. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, they're coming this
So
Saturday. That's cool.
okay, I gotta ask. So, have you peeked at the set list?
Yeah.
Do
I
you
have.
like it?
Me, yes. Personally, I like it a lot.
Absolutely, I did too. But I saw so much fucking hate online
I mean,
for it.
I don't get it because they said it up front. We'll do a fucking hit parade. That's it. They said that up
Yeah.
front. So what to
Yeah,
expect? I mean, come on.
I
We
mean,
we live in the world of internet where everybody's just gonna hate on everything if they have the chance to do it.
sure, because
Fucking right.
because
Yeah.
that's their that's the only thing I think that's the only thing really that the internet is good for, is like casting aspirations on shit and fucking giving everybody their voice to shit on something.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it like I always say that I produce a metal show. I don't produce content.
Yeah.
I put out metal music. I put out whatever kind of music I feel at the time. I don't put out content.
Mm.
And I think that's where, when you see all these comments of people shitting on Maiden set lists or whatever, it's just to drive to get you to click on their stuff to see if they're whatever they're promoting for themselves. It's to their content that they're putting out.
Yes.
Whether it's a stand-up comic or go see my band, we won't give you a shitty set list like this kind of stuff. No, I totally dig the set for it. I was surprised that they were doing as many Diano songs.
Well, yeah, but there is a couple though. I mean, you got Phantom of the Opera. Well, we don't know what the set list will be, but I've seen what they played other places. But I guess they got a couple of songs
They
uh,
interchange, yeah.
rolled
Yeah.
through. Yeah, because probably. But the one that I saw, I would be much happy to see that live, to be
Sure.
honest.
Oh
But
yeah, absolutely. Because they're
one
playing
of the
Rhyme of the
problems about
Ancient
what,
Mariner again.
oh yeah, if I get that, that's my favorite fucking song ever. That's the first one I ever heard, to be honest.
Nice.
That was the one. That was the one that got me on the boat. But back to what you said about the shit on the internet and shit like that. The problem is that people care too much about what other people think and mean. I mean,
Yes.
they don't
Yes.
have any opinions themselves. They just fucking leech and then whatever sorrow of the day is available for them. I mean, that's a huge fucking problem. I think. I mean, why care so much
That's
about
how these
stuff? I
people
mean,
feel alive.
Yeah, because when you're
if that's being
okay,
alive,
I
fuck,
got to put a
that's not
pause
Yeah,
being
here.
I
me.
don't want to be alive then. That's
Okay, I got to put a pause here because this was gonna go into that conversation that we said beforehand that we weren't gonna do
Mm. Mm.
about calling
Okay, let's call
the,
it.
the
Let's call it there
overlords
then.
motherfuckers. Um,
Well, you
but
asked the question
honestly,
though. I don't
that's
think we
part of it.
finished.
The oppression from all, not just like the American side of things, but like all government oppression is in there. No matter who, where, when, everybody has that issue of where you have a shitbag running a show somewhere. But aside from all of that, yeah, it's just like putting out the agenda stuff. It's like it's like bigger musicians that go on to other podcasts or do interviews and completely slag on bands when they know the only reason why they're doing it is to fuel album sales and streams and stuff like that. The behind the scenes shit.
Let's just put a cap on that and talk about fun stuff like
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
the
like
music that.
um a couple of weeks ago, you had the newest album come out, and I always, like the Ecosphere, Astro Domita, fucking Dark Majesty, Astral Voyager Volume 1, which I already love. It's a Volume 1, and I seriously hope we can get like a Star Wars out of this, where like we're going to do like an episode 3 first, or Astro Voyager the prequel. No,
Well, we
I,
actually
I,
had
I
one.
totally kid when I say that, but no, you have
We
some
had a
amazing
prequel.
album titles.
Yeah, I try to make it interesting because a lot of bands talk about politics, real life stuff, and shit like that, and I figured, why don't just be lame ass fucking comic book kind of lyrics?
That's not
There is a
lame,
deep.
by the way.
No, it's
Okay,
totally not lame.
well,
Uh,
it's not, it's fantasy. It's not real.
Yeah.
You could draw parallels to stuff with if you go through it line by line, but that's not the main point. The main point is that let's make a to be very pretentious here. Let's make a journey for the listener. We got the music, then maybe a couple of lyrics on top that make the mind work on its own. You can make yourself the story within the story if you like. There
Yeah.
is a meaning, but there's a meaning deep down in every song. But I'm not going to preach that if nobody asks. So everybody can listen to it and get their own opinion on what's going on and stuff like that. Because, I mean, you said there was something interesting you said just before you hit the record button. There was that it felt a bit short. It was the max amount of fucking minutes you can put on a vinyl. That's why it is the length it is. Because if you put more minutes on a vinyl, you get lesser sound. So
yeah,
that's the reason why it's only 42
Mm.
minutes. And we have enough material to make fucking 3 records out of this, but we boiled it down to 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Let's see what's happening. But it's at least a number 2 coming out. And that's the reason why it is as it is. And Dark Majesty was kind of a double album. So we've
Yeah.
done that now. So we can't do that again because that would be, no, we got to do something else. So maybe a story, number 1, number 2, maybe number 3 and 4. I don't know. Let's see what happens that way. But that's why we did the way we did it. That's why it is
yeah,
42 minutes long.
and that's totally rad
Besides,
because and I say based on track listing, 6 songs on there.
Yeah.
And but then again, the quality of song, the length of song, drives it up over to what they consider long play or whatever. I think whatever an album is just that collection of songs. Honestly, even if it's a single, I think if it's something that stands alone on its own and it doesn't need anything else to support it, like with a story or anything, then that's what it's what it should be. So I'm totally game for that. And honestly, where I lived growing up in South Central Indiana I was 30 minutes pretty much from any bigger city like Louisville, Kentucky. It was 35 minutes away from, doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was always like, okay, what can I put in the car to listen to on the way there and not have to switch tracks or anything? And something like that is perfect for it, and that's really where I started to grow more of an appreciation for songs and albums that did what you all are doing, and it even dates back into something like, like Pink Floyd and stuff like that, where it's like a continual sonic experience.
Yes, exactly. That's what I think is great when it comes to the albums we create together with the band.
Mhm.
Is the whole story of it. It's a journey, right? From start to finish. There's no like
there's
Yeah.
a bit of consideration going down when we put the songs together, so it will be interesting. But this time we had this amount of songs that has to be squeezed into 2 fucking vinyls. I mean, there's not even room for a fart on any of the fucking records time wise. So it had to be what it had to be that way. So it was a bit of a, to I don't like to use the word concept album because it's not really a concept album, but there's a red thread through it all if you go into the nitty gritty. So it is pretty much in a chronological fucking order the songs coming out. So we're lucky that way. It wasn't planned at all. Just it just worked out pretty good.
I think
So,
that's the
amazing.
beauty. I think that's also the beauty of how you write, Stola, is you don't do it consciously. You just do it unconsciously, and it becomes like a red thread through the entire album. And I think that's a beautiful mind through the entire thing.
It works for us at least.
It does.
Hey,
it does.
and that's what matters because I've always tried to be a big proponent of saying to bands, try, if it doesn't work, try a different way, because just because it works for somebody doesn't mean it works for you.
Yeah.
So like when I go to record, I try to put in all kinds of whatever else, sound effects here and there, like glass breaking, metal hitting something, and using it as like percussive pieces and stuff. A few of the things that I've tried over the years, I don't know about that. That's whatever, man. I get that shit, but like going back and watching some of these like classic album series things, and you see bands like Judas Priest and Pink Floyd and The Doors, and putting in like weird sound effects. Like one band I know used a lever action rifle as a part of a fucking song, and it you don't know it's there unless you watch them recording it.
Yeah.
Putting it onto the tape. Yeah. And it's totally cool with stuff like that. And it's like, as you said, it just worked out that way.
Yeah.
And I completely dig that.
We tried the different, sound effects back in the day and different, songs and stuff. This time around, there's nothing at all on that record that's not made by a voice or a guitar. So, the noises you hear is made by a guitar and just tuned to be that kind of a noise. So,
hell yeah.
We made everything by hand.
Absolutely. And,
we had a couple of ideas on stuff to put on, to make maybe a start of a song more interesting, maybe the middle of the song more interesting. But we figured out that why should we do that when this works, And
sure.
We stuck to that. And why put on another minute on a song that's really fucking 9 minutes already?
Yeah,
hey,
simplicity is the best sometimes, right?
It is. You can't go wrong. So, sometimes, well, you can, but I mean, you almost can't go wrong, even if your song is like 9 minutes. Like, here we go talking about the 2.5 fucking minute guitar solo again.
Yeah.
Of having an intro, a verse, chorus, 2.5 minute bridge in a solo section, and then a verse, chorus, outro.
Yeah.
And it's 9 fucking minutes.
To be honest, we tried to make a couple of short songs that we figure would be singles, because
we tried a lot of times.
Yeah, if you go above the magic fucking 5 minutes stretch, you're not going to get played on the radio. Because if it's longer than 5 minutes, they're not going to consider it. They might, have a preview of it, but they won't put it on the playlist because it's too long. So we tried really hard to make it happen. But I mean, when you get in that groove and you get all that shit hatched out and thing is moving, you just can't stop the train until it stops by itself.
Yeah.
No, you absolutely
that makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel totally. Like it's been so many times where we tried to play the song and we're at let's say 4:20 for now, and the song ends and we're like, it doesn't feel like it should end now.
No,
It should
something's
just
missing.
go longer. And it
There's
always
something missing.
happens. It just happens that we need a new riff right here. And then we need to go
Or maybe
back
you should
to
come
this.
back to, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no. So okay, so when I questioned the time of the album, my thrash band Overload, back in 2014, we released a 4-song album. And 4 songs, and it was called Only the Strong Survive, or still is. I mean, it's not like it's, it's out of print currently, but it whatever. But there was nothing under 7 minutes, or actually nothing under 7.5 minutes on it.
Nice.
And
if it happens, it happens, bro.
It does. And it's exactly what Josh was saying. It was like, does it need to end here? What would it be if we added this other riff, and it just be totally cool. But one of the things I wanted to ask about, you said this is volume 1, and you have enough material to do possibly 2 to 3 volumes. Now, do you already have a lot of that stuff pre-pro or already recorded?
Yeah, sure. When we did the session, we did it all in one go. Everything is done, completed, and fucking sitting there.
Yeah,
dude, that's awesome, because it's like I love that stuff, because it's like Lord of the Rings on tape. It's like everything's done. Well, I mean, seriously, like filming Fellowship, Two Towers, and Return of the King all over a 2-year period, mind you. But they were all done to be, release. So no, I totally love that, honestly, because it's a consistency factor, I think. Because
what happened was that we had these songs, and we went into the studio, started recording, and by the end of the time that we finished it all, there was nothing that we really wanted to, take away or throw away.
Sure.
I mean, a lot of bands have like 15 songs they record and maybe keep 10, but there was nothing there that we wanted to throw away. So we had a little chat with the powers that be, and we said that we want to fucking keep it all. So that's why there's coming more. That's why it's volume 1, pretty much.
No, that's awesome, and I like how you explained that. Like some bands out there will record, 15 songs, and they'll pick the best 10 or the best 8 even, Yeah. And just like whatever else happens doesn't, you never really see. And honestly, this goes over to a Metallica discussion point, is the giant fucking box sets that they're releasing. They've got demos and stuff in there, and it's like songs might be different and whatnot, but like I want to totally see like and it's everybody's favorite album, of course, Saint Anger. I want to see the versions with the solos that should be released, and the other songs that were in those sessions, because they picked 11 songs out of 28 for that album.
Yeah,
and those 11 songs were the better ones.
Yeah, but they just released a box set of Load, or what's it, Reload? I can't remember.
No, it was by the time this is airing, it'll have come out a couple of weeks ago.
That was like 300 minutes of more material that was never been released.
That's a lot.
It was it was like 258 songs that had never been released.
I mean, for fans, that's pretty important. They want to know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
They may not be the hits, so they may not be the thing that made it to the final record, but it's funny to see how they work. What do they, throw away? What's not good enough for them guys? I mean,
right.
And if people want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. There's some other bands that I know that I listen to have B-sides that have been released later, and those songs are one of my favorite songs. I think
Oh, absolutely.
they are better than the main album.
Sure. No, I honestly, when it comes to me as a fan, I've noticed that I am more of an album guy, and those quote B-sides and stuff that, you know, non-hits tend to be some of my most favorite songs from bands.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it's
because
really cool.
I think there's more raw emotion in a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
I feel
there
like
will always be the
it's a
guys that
creative flow in it.
Sure.
You know?
And they're not and they're not, a lot of them are not conforming to that, as you'd said a minute ago about if it's over 5 minutes not getting played on the radio type thing. And so yeah, there's not as much of that conformity to fitting in that structure, which is an interesting thing. You mentioned radio. Now, over in Europe, is radio still a thing? Like FM radio?
no, we have it's all digitalized now, so it's called DAB. It's a digital fucking whatever broadcast that goes via satellite. So you get
Dab
like,
over here is completely something different.
yeah, FM and AM is long gone.
Yeah.
There might be a you know a local radio station still on the FM broadcasting, but that's history. The beauty with fucking DAB is that it's all, as I said, it's digital, so you can get all the information on what you're listening to.
Sure.
So there's no more about that. What the fuck was that? Now you can see it straight away, and you can maybe, I don't know if you could on this kind of broadcast, but I think you could, you know, not fast forward, but I think you can go back and see what they played. If there is a band that you know they would play, and you can go back and hear it and see what kind of song they played or whatever. But so that's the way it works here, pretty much.
Okay.
And I think that's common all over Europe now, at least.
See, that's awesome. And like I said, Dab over here is completely something different because it's dealing with
Yeah.
But no, we still have over in America, the AM band is pretty much just like all talk radio. Like that's where like all your political slanted shows are, and news, like the news stations, traffic, things like that. I don't know a lot of people that actually like really dig into the AM band. I know a few, but not a lot. They do like a lot of sports reporting shows and stuff. FM here, especially in my region, we don't have any what you would consider new rock stations. Everything that's played is like classic rock. So you're getting like fucking Jump and Enter Sandman and shit like that, and fucking Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, you know, but you're not getting like anything like Avenged Sevenfold, or, you know, and even that's still dating to fucking 15 years ago. But
that's the beauty with this. That's the beauty with this, because you get all these different radio stations playing this and that kind of music.
Yeah.
So you can tune into you get the metal channels, you got the hard rock channels, you have, you know, the old record, old metal stations, you got whatever you want, whatever you fancy, you can find a radio station playing just that kind of music. If you like Frank Sinatra, you can have big band shows, you can have all the slow dance fucking songs, you can country, you can whatever you want, it's there for your picking. And obviously the hardest is on my radio station in the car.
Yeah, the cat just jumped up.
Yeah,
she likes to make herself known in the show.
What's her name?
This one is Diana Prince.
Diana Prince.
Yeah. If you're familiar, it's Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And if you like horror movies and stuff like that, if you're familiar with the Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs, Diana Prince is Darcy the Mail Girl on that show. So, yeah, she, of course, cats, they have like 9,000 names. That's her given name is Diana Prince. So she does get called Lady Di a couple of times.
Nice.
So that's a thing. But she appears like a black cat when she jumps on the screen, but she's actually a tortie.
Oh, nice.
And she definitely has the tortitude that they talk about. And yes, I know, honey. I know. See, she wants to be part of the show too. This is KAL-EL.
That is working.
Yeah, that's why I locked my cats out of my room because they like to jump around here.
I see the cat tree in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm totally cool with it because if I don't, but
there we go.
You got to get down. You got to get down, baby. There's candles up here. See, there you can see your little tortie red.
Yeah.
Honey, there's candles up here, and I don't want you getting in trouble because you do that stuff. And I'm not gonna cut this out of the show. So anyway, where we were, I've done lost my train of thought for that.
We're talking about radio, but we can go on.
With radio. So like, I remember being like years ago, I used to like pro wrestle. Okay. And we had a thing where we had just started doing our deal in this new place, so we were getting used to it, and we had the radio going, and it was like the biggest classic rock station in my town was still New Rock at that time. And I remember hearing on the video, I was like, holy shit, fucking QMF's playing Seek and Destroy. What the fuck? You know, because it's like, as much as I hate that fucking song today, back 20 years ago, it was still good, but like, you never heard it like, you know, it wasn't like the flooded track that it became.
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. So anyway, what else does 2025 have coming up for you guys?
Vacation first and foremost. We're gonna have a couple of weeks off, and we got some festivals coming up, and we got something else in the brewery for this fall, which I think will be revealed this week, perhaps. I don't know. Don't want to spill any fucking beans because you know there's somebody planning this shit, so they want to be.
Yeah. You don't want to step on nobody's toes.
But there's definitely something coming up. And of course, as we've spoken about, that we have some more music up our sleeves. There might be something coming up of that as well as time flies by.
We got some goodies. Got some goodies coming up for you.
Yeah, it sounds like y'all got some pretty rad stuff down the pipeline, and definitely digging it. And I'm a follower for life now.
Oh, thank you.
Hell yeah. You. So I do like to ask some general questions about you all as people. Because like get kind of the critical thinking going on, because I think a lot of people don't get that anymore. So they don't have to be music related. It's just life questions.
Yeah.
What's memorable about you as a person?
That's
There you go
hard.
first, Josh.
I
gonna
need to
go
go
with-
first. That's kind
I'm
of
gonna go with your hair, Josh, because
My
like
hair?
because I looked at I was looking at the metal archives,
Yeah.
and I see Forgotten King up here as well. And
Yes.
you're all standing on the train tracks, and you're in this bluish purple sweater, just and it's like you've got the fucking hair going.
I got the
And-
hair. I think I get a lot of people talking to me about my hair.
Like, what kind of
And-
products do you use?
No, it's
Fuck
just that
off.
it's beautiful. And but I was at Desert Fest, Oslo, just as a guest to see bands, and there was like 4 or 5 people that came up to me, and they shook me, and they were like, "Slow Mosa, we love you." And I'm like, I don't play in Slow Mosa, dude, because he also has the hair.
That's great. The
So that's-
vocalist
that's
for Early
memorable.
Moods.
What did you say?
The vocalist for Early Moods.
Oh yeah,
Totally has the hair also. My Power Doom band played with them earlier this week, and like he totally like I want to go to 2 references here. Claudio from Coheed and Cambria with
yes,
the hair. And if you've ever seen the Midnight Special episode with Mountain playing Mississippi Queen, that dude has the same hair too. It's
That's
just
awesome.
boom. It's a statement.
So, is it me now to
it's
answer
your
that
turn.
question?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's
Well,
memorable about
Hopefully, it will be that I was kind and polite when you spoke to me. I mean, everybody has a temper for every wrong reason, pretty much. But I would like to, try to behave when I hear in public.
Sure. No, and
Is
I
that too
think that's
pretentious?
well, I
Well, that's
mean,
nice.
like, take Lemmy for example. What's memorable about Lemmy?
Finest
And
man alive. Well, not alive anymore, but that was alive.
yeah,
Famous rock
I
and roll
mean,
star,
just
like Keanu Reeves.
yeah, I mean, everybody like talks about like the stories, like, oh well, he slept with like 5,000 women and whatever, and did the rock star life and shit like that. But like watching a lot of the interviews and documentaries, I think he was more of an actual like straight up what most people would refer to as a gentleman.
Yes.
Right on. Yeah.
Definitely a well-spoken man for for the
Oh, yeah.
lifestyle that he lived. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying with that. The way he treated people is another
Mm.
thing. Yeah, and was straight shooter, being like like you said, being polite when being spoken to and everything. Yeah, yes, absolutely. That would be a great legacy to have.
Thought so. Yeah. There's not enough assholes around to fill that bucket. So maybe try to be nice.
Can say that twice.
Right. Okay, so let me find my next question here. I've been kind of looking. Do you feel that time travel will be made possible in the near future?
Maybe not in the near future, but definitely will be. If it's not already here, we just don't know about it.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
I think
don't
we have
we're
an
gonna see it
otherworldly
tomorrow.
source of time travel.
Yeah. I think we got like we have a lot of these what can I
Shit,
call
hang
them?
on.
Like butter. Okay.
I need to just speak. I need to get my power because I'm running out of power.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. So I was
Time
time
travel.
traveling. So we have these not butterflies effect, but the Mandela effect,
Mm-hmm.
like the remembering or disremember. Is it disremembering? No,
It's remembering it in a different way.
misremembering. There we
Like
go.
the biggest one that the Mandela effect, the basis of it is that he was a prisoner and died in
And
that he
died,
died in
yeah.
prison and all that, but he actually served a 20-year prison sentence and was released.
Yes, yes, and you have a
And went
lot of
on
these
to live like another like 20 or so years after that.
yeah, and you have a
President.
lot of these instances. Like in my life, I had this drink called Black Dog, and nobody else than me, I think, remembers it.
We'll have to get the comments involved here. Black Dog is what it was
Yeah,
called.
it was yellow. It was an energy drink. It was here in Norway. I've never heard anybody else talk about it. And maybe I just had it in a dream, but I remember it specifically that I drank it a lot when I was younger.
Crazy. Maybe that's the thing.
Well, you
maybe,
did.
maybe it's peak enlightenment. Maybe it was something like that.
Yes.
Like nobody else ever drank it, so they don't like, but you knew it was there, and like who knows? I
Who
mean,
knows?
Now you gotta remember all the mushrooms too, Josh.
I mean, I haven't eaten a lot of those, but
at least not lately.
some of
it. What's interesting about the whole time travel thing is you see these, and they could be faked pictures now on like the internet, but you see a lot of these pictures of like where it looks like people are holding cell phones and it's like the 1920s or 30s and shit.
oh yeah, you have that instance of this. I can't remember his name, but the guy who time traveled and his phone got stuck in the past in a pipe or something like that.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
I haven't heard of that particularly, but that's interesting.
Yeah, his phone was found in the metal pipe from the 1920s or something like that, or far, far back. Or
wow,
conspiracy theory. Nobody knows, right?
Sure.
Well, to put it this way, of all the stuff they put on the net, I mean, let's say like 90% is fake or just fucking stupid, the people to believe that there's something there. But there's 10% that you can't really explain, is there? So there gotta be something, man. I mean, if it's time travel or if it's fucking whatever it is, there's gotta be something. Everybody's talked about this for forever. I mean, it's not like it's new now. I mean, back in the 1700s, 1800s, it was ghosts and shit they saw. I mean, maybe even today you can see a ghost or whatever. But I think that those 10% that you cannot really explain are the interesting ones, not the AI fucking made stuff. All the conspiracies. There's a lot of conspiracies, but there is a little bit of percentage that cannot be explained, and those are the really interesting ones.
Yeah, I think so too. When you're like, is this real? It could be real.
Right.
To put it on you guys, you American guys, I mean, your government got something cooking. I'm pretty sure that there is something going on there. But I think there is it's what they call a catastrophe. What the fuck is that word? I mean, there's two ways to doing this. There's one way to do it controlled, and there's one way to do it uncontrolled.
Sure.
And what I think is going on now is the control way. They give you crumbs now and again with little bits of information and stuff. They put on this show called the Congressional Hearing and stuff like that. I think it's just right now people don't give a fuck anymore. They don't care. Where is the news about it? Nowhere.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of information going on. So I think they preparing people for something coming. That's what I think. But I might be wrong. But I think there is something going on, and I think that maybe in a couple of years we'll have more information about it. Because I mean, people cannot sit there and under fucking oath and tell these stories, and you know they lose everything. They lose their job, they
Right.
lose their credibility, they lose everything. They got nothing to gain. They got nothing to gain whatsoever. No, they don't want fame. They don't want fortune or nothing. They're just telling this is what I know, and it's pretty fucked up stories they come with.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. One of the best radio, and this is an AM radio show for the longest time, and I think it finally got moved over to an FM format. It was called Coast to Coast, and it is totally about the unexplained, like everything from cryptids like Bigfoot, Loch Ness monster, the Yeti, all aliens, can just like weird, wild conspiracy stuff that they talk about. And now you can get it on like the Best Of podcast. So check it out. Not a
Cool.
sponsor, not a friend. I just like to listen to it from time to time just to see what other, like what you were talking about, you know, people getting prepared for something that's going to come out. And you brought up the you know, the congressional hearings and things like that, and people, but yeah, there's a lot of that shit going on here right now. And but when you seriously look at the overall thing of it, is the if you ever notice the documentation that people are like pounding the table for, and I didn't want to like a bunch of shit knock over, so I did that. Put that in post, or there you go. People pounding the fucking table for, they're not giving you. The people, they're giving you shit from 60 years ago, like say the Kennedy assassination, which pretty much anybody in America, and I guess the rest of the world, probably knows that was a fucking inside job, you know.
To get anything is pretty heavily dictated as well. It's blacked out, so you can't see everything as
yeah,
well.
redaction. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. So unless you got a skiff, you don't learn shit.
Yep, exactly. But no, one like the whole time travel thing. I don't know if it's like how I said, seeing the pictures and it looks like dudes on a cell phone in like the 1930s and shit at a thing or whatever. Or like you said, like the Mandela effect, like in America, you know, we had the book series, the Berenstain Bears is what I vividly remember, but it's actually Berenstain Bears. So it's like, and then you go back and look, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, that was like a common misconception, I guess, that a lot of people did. But, I mean, we're all built over civilization after civilization after civilization. So how, you know, when you look at times like, say, like in the Roman Empire, where they had aqueducts and actual plumbing and shit like that, who's to say that they weren't much more of an advanced society anyways?
Exactly.
You know, that, you know, people forgot art for like 500 years. You know, but
I think the Romans were just as intelligent as we are. They just didn't have the internet or the tools that we have today to be more advanced. But I don't think they were stupid. I mean, there's a lot of technology they had that's mind-boggling. I mean, just to have the mindset to build these things. There's a lot of engineering going in to make these fucking things working. And so they weren't stupid. They just didn't have the tools that we have today to, you know, make space rockets or fucking cars or whatever.
Yeah.
But they were just as intelligent as that we are right now. I don't think they had any more hidden secrets than already revealed. But there is something else going on a bit further south for Italy that is a bit more not totally the truth that we get, I think. Because
I think everything is just a little by little.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't stir the
don't-
pot too much.
Well,
Don't
one of
fucking
the
tell me these guys made this with chicken bones and chisels
Yeah,
made out of
no.
bronze, whatever.
right,
No way,
exactly.
man.
One of the interesting things to go along with this as well was there's a theory out there of the calendar. We're a lot closer to the fall of to the Roman Empire today than we actually think that we are. Because when they switched the calendar after like the Norman invasion in like the 1060s or whatever, that they actually had added time to the calendar at that point and made it to match their calendar. So like where the fall of Rome, when the fall of Rome happened, like that whole like 800-year process that was between like that and like the Renaissance, where it was like the Dark Ages, they just just completely had changed to, it's like it was like 800 and then it was like 1500
to check that, when they use, carbon dating and stuff like that, they can pretty much, or they can see the tree stumps. You can see how old the tree are. If it's been on the water for a long time, whatever. They're pretty fucking well trained, the guys today. So they can pinpoint pretty much down to how old stuff is in our fucking way of thinking about time. But all that stuff didn't really happen until, I mean, the way we think about time today didn't really happen until, early 1900s. Because, I mean, just think about, there was a point I had, no, what was it? Fucking blew my mind. Time traveling. I want to go back.
Let's do it. Marty.
Yeah. I mean, just like the Christian Bible that we know today was made by Germans in the 1500s.
Sure.
I mean, because they say that the Holy Book is 2,000 years old. It's fucking bullshit. It's just 500 years old at the most, and was made by the guys in Germany on how they saw society back then in 1500s. That's why there is all this strange thing about, whacking your wife, keeping slaves, burning goats and shit like that. Because, I mean, they may be doing stuff like that back in the 1500s. I don't know. But so if they want people to come on board on that story today, they need to revisit it and maybe make it a little more updated.
Sure.
So
you're absolutely right.
So whatever this guy said it for 2,000 years ago doesn't apply, because they revised it to their own fucking thinking in 1500s. I mean, so that's another way to look at how things differ from the period to period.
Sure.
Oh yeah, from word to mouth, right? It always switches a little bit. It always.
Well, it's just like the rumor mill. As you were talking earlier, and when the band talk, you talk about the drama, the rumor, the scene type stuff. Just like one person tells you what it is, they tell their version to the next person, who tells their version to the next person, by the time it gets back to the original person, it's completely fucking.
It's not the same thing at all.
At all the same thing. In one sentence, how would you sum up the internet?
Chaotic.
A curse and a blessing.
I guess I just need one word.
I agree with both of those. Blessing and a curse, and chaotic. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't put better titles on, or better analogies to that. Honestly, blessing because of the reach you can achieve. Like 20 years ago, the possibility of us doing this would have been over the phone at a radio show or in person if we were on tour. And
we had tape trading and pen pals back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but that's what I'm saying.
I was born in the age of internet, so I don't know anything of that.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah, I was born in 1991. I'm the youngest in the whole group.
Oh, I mean, come on. You probably know something a little pre-internet, at least. By the time
Still trying to teach him smoke signals.
Yes. Because no, like, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So I'm 83. So I definitely remember times, like I said, well, at my show that I was telling you all about, we were talking about how back in 2005, and when I was in a band, how we had a 8-track Tascam recorder.
Yeah.
That was just to cassette tape. And it's totally fucking wild shit, you know. Still better than the black metal Fisher Price, of course, but I'm joking. But when we found out how to run the audio out into like an 8th jack, fucking headphone jack to a computer to, just to get a digital copy to where we could burn it on a CD was fucking mind-blowing technology. So apply that into the internet base where, now with the reach that you get, it's such a blessing with that, but it's also in the curse of what we were talking about earlier, where it's just like so much shit that goes on, so much misinformation, disinformation.
There's just too much information because everything
exactly
like the good information get buried under the bad information. And even like good music, it gets buried under bad music. Because there's just too much, and too many people and too many opinions. And yeah, it just, I don't know. It gets buried under anything.
Before we hopped on here, as I was getting ready for the show, I popped open my Instagram page. And it was like, we're surveying a select few people, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to take part? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I want to see what kind of questions they're going to ask. I strongly disagreed with every question that they put on there. And one of the ones is like, do you think meta helps or hurts society? I was like, hurts. Yeah, I completely shit on their product. But
it's kind of strange because we can sit here and talk about, if you would say chair, like 5 minutes now, chair, and next time you open your phone, you'll get fucking advertising for chairs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'm getting them right now.
I mean that's the scariest shit. I mean that's the scariest shit that I've come to terms with it. I don't care because I can care because it's out of my hands.
Yeah,
I've come to terms with the fact that I'm being monitored. They know everything they want to know. I'm a very boring man, so I don't care. But they know everything about me. There's nothing I can hide. I can hide anywhere, and I'm okay with that. If I'm gonna go around being paranoid and fucking think about that, you would go mental in a couple of seconds.
Yes.
But it's pretty freaky when you sit around and you talk about something and you open your fucking phone and you get a mail with a now on advertising for whatever you spoke about.
Sure.
It's crazy. And I know this is something that we've been talking about for years now, that the phone are listening to you. But as I said, I've come to terms with it. It's the way things work now. And if you get too upset, you lose.
Yeah,
you lose pretty much.
Definitely. What is a classic movie that you have never seen that seems to be like such a popular thing?
To me, it might be Schindler's List.
Interesting.
Never seen that movie. Never been interested in seeing that movie either.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely deep subject matter, and it's not for everybody.
Oh, it's hard shit, man. It's a real thing. It's a real
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
It is. It's a hard movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's I mean, the cruelty of human beings are coming through the screen so vividly. It's a
Like
very good
I
movie.
do want to watch
explaining
it, but it's never been like, do I have how long is it? 4 hours? 3, 4
Something like
hours?
that.
It's pretty long. It's 4 hours of misery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Quite
It really
simple,
is.
yeah.
I'd rather want to watch 4 hours of Lord of the Rings like every year.
Well, I
Well,
mean, you
I
know,
don't think there's any. I don't think there's any movie that is hold up as a classic that I haven't seen. I'm trying to think about something, but I think I've seen everything that I think is a classic. Maybe some of the old black and whites. Maybe
sure.
one of those.
While you're thinking about it, I will say I have never seen, but I've wanted to, Chinatown with Jack
The Kurt
Nicholson.
Russell one, and Kurt Russell.
Hey, is Kurt Russell in that? He'd have to be young, I would think.
It's pretty young. Maybe there's two different Chinatowns.
I have the internet right here, the blessing
Yes.
and the curse.
That's a blessing that you can check out information straight away. The
Yes,
curse is
I
that
love
it's too
that.
much.
It has it's the Roman Polanski film. It's Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. I don't believe this is not with
No,
Kurt
that's a
Russell.
different. No.
Oh, you're
I
thinking
haven't.
Big Trouble in Little China,
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah. I'm
That's
mistaken.
that's great. That's the Pork Chop Express.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen the one where Humphrey Bogart says, "Play it again, Sam." Is that Casablanca?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
Interesting.
Is that a classic?
I would say it is, especially here in Hollywood culture in America. I would definitely say it would be.
I just know about it.
Let me ask that. Does Norway have like a film scene?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
do.
your Norwegian films that that come
Yeah,
out
yeah.
like not like a dub of the Avengers or
No.
Star Wars or anything.
We
And-
don't
no,
have dubs here. We only
We
have
don't dub-
subtitles.
We don't dub any movie, but I think he asked if we make movies like that. We
No,
have
do- yeah,
fantasy
do you-
movies.
Yeah,
We have fantasy movies, but it's more because the production is very expensive, and so they tend to keep it to, let's say, detective series, police shows, maybe realized story about this young man is a drug addict and he needs help and stuff like that. So it's there's a few of these odd science fiction shows, not very good, but it's definitely memorable. But it's not that big in that kind of sense. So I don't think there will be a Norwegian Avenger anytime soon. But
well,
there is
no, I didn't figure either because that's the American, the Hollywood monster type shit. That's
Yeah.
like
yeah, because they got the money. They got the money to produce stuff like that. I don't think the scene in Norway has that kind of money. But there is there's a very dedicated crew. It's called Storm that makes special effects, and they actually work on all these Hollywood productions, and they've been involved in a couple of Norwegian called catastrophe movies. Like we got something called the flood. I mean, we live with fjords, right? So if one of these fucking mountains will collapse, what would happen? You would flood the whole fucking this part of Norway, and we got a couple of movies like that. It's pretty good movies. It's the old catastrophe kind of show,
Hell yeah. You'll have to send me some links to these because like I'm about to shoot a music video. Like
Wow.
direct and shoot the video for my Power Doom band. And like it's like I have the idea of what I want to do. I've worked on a few other videos in the past, but it's just like when it's like, okay, putting it up to me to do it, it's like I'm trying to soak in as much,
I think you could, if you Google Wave Norwegian movie, I think it will get it up.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll definitely check it out.
There's a lot of good like horror Norwegian movies too.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually like a lot of like probably one of my favorite films was Brotherhood of the Wolf,
Oh,
the French film
Yeah.
that we had subtitled here, and it's such a good film. But yeah, that came out years ago. So I have one more question, but before we get to it, as always, links they're listed below. So please give likes, shares, and follows, do all the things, all the stuff. Follow these guys, go buy merch, go see them when they're playing live. Look forward to volume 2 coming out hopefully soon as well. Because like I said, I'm an album guy. So like, and now that you had explained that you had recorded all of this at one time, it is amazing to me because I like consistency. There's one thing about like, going being an artist, like as a musician and going from one album to the next, you don't always get that same sound. Everybody kind of reinvents.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say because when it's volume 1 and volume 2, you kind of want the same sound, right?
Yeah, because it could either be too bassy or too thin or too whatever. I mean, hopefully you don't have the production of like, I'm gonna just rail off like fucking the production of Quiet Riot, Come On Feel the Noise versus fucking what Slade's version of Come On Feel the Noise, or who the fuck it is. I might have got that wrong. It might be somebody else. But either or, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like one is like really shreddy and the other is just like 70s rock. But yeah, I totally dig that. So do you all have any shout outs or anything else you'd like to promote today?
I'd like to thank all the guys that have been talking nice about the record, all the podcasts that have been in touch, that have been willing to talk to us. Sharing the gospel of the Norwegian sci-fi stoner rock that we do. And thank everybody from my heart, because it's that's what we do. We entertain if we get that through. Brilliant.
Yeah. Want to thank everybody who's been supporting us. It's been lovely to hear all the positive things that you have to say, and we can't wait to do more for all of you.
Hell yeah. Totally dig it. So my final question of the day, okay, so
don't be shy.
Huh?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
No, because I looked over at the question. It was going to be something similar to that anyways, but I don't like the way the question was worded on the thing. So it's like I'm trying to think on my feet and reword it. And it's just like, nope, that shit ain't happening. Things like Loch Ness Monster, Sasquatch, Yeti, Bigfoot. Do you believe they exist?
There's those 10% that we don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Like, so I'll give you like there was a What If comic. Okay,
you're gonna dig in on this,
huh?
You're gonna dig in on this.
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
So there's a what if comic out there, and it was a crossover of Indiana Jones and Star Wars. And it's like, how the fuck can you cross those over? Well, breaking into our time travel conversation, the Millennium Falcon skirts through a void in time and crash lands in the like 500 or so years before the 1930s. So the 1430s, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And in the 1930s is discovered in Northwest America by Indiana Jones. And he walks into the cockpit and sees a skeleton of Han Solo.
Interesting.
So the idea is, when you get the classic Bigfoot film that's out there,
yeah,
it's actually Chewbacca.
Far, far away. So they have to do more than just time travel. But the theory is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great what if, So like, I guess that, are they just a very rare occurrence of a creature that, like a prehistoric creature? Take like Loch Ness monster. I mean, think of things like Megalodon. There's what have we explored, like 3% of the ocean that we can actually see.
Yeah.
So
talking about that, there's a lot of stuff going on underwater that we don't know about. I mean, it's creatures that get thrown on beaches and stuff that they never seen.
Oh
before.
Yeah, that never come up below like 3,000 feet or some shit. Yeah, like I remember like the tsunami that hit Japan.
Oh yeah,
back in like 2007 or 8, and there were things that got washed up on shore there that were just like, what the fuck is that? Like fish with like giant fucking fang teeth and shit. It almost looks like Rob Zombie fucking music video type stuff, like House of a Thousand Corpses, fucking monsters. Like, like the Dr. Satan shit where he was making the fucking fish man. Dudes, thank you all so much for coming to the Metal Forge this week.
Is that Captain Kirk you got in front of you?
It is. Actually, no, it's not. I have to be that guy. I'm a nerd at heart. I think we all kind of are. That is actually Admiral Kirk.
Oh, okay.
It's not Captain, it's Admiral Kirk. So yeah, I have an Admiral Kirk there. I've rearranged my desk quite a bit. Over here, I have a
He-Man.
Yeah, I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. As if you notice, he is down. He is arms up, down on his knees, because the man standing in front of him is the real baddie. We have Emperor Hordak with the power sword, basically calling on the power of Grayskull for himself. So, yeah, I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I've just recently got a Skeletor tattoo. I have an Evil Lyn tattoo. Kind of hard to get onto the angle there. So,
that's cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So, dudes, on our way out today, what do you all want to play from the band? We're promoting the new album, so
which song?
Yeah, what do you all want to play?
What do you think, Solo?
Short and sweet one. Let's go with Cosmic Sailor.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hell yeah. You heard them. This is Cosmic Sailor. Metal every day. Rock out, you guys.
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza Donisi. Pizza Donisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month to sandwiches and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken, fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza Donisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza Donisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shade Beast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shade Beast Presents concert series.
Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shade Beast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now. Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon my